Hey everyone. So let's be brutally raw and honest with each other. New York City, a repeat violent felon, a criminal, was killed. He died because he was acting violently. A gentleman, which the media has been very, very explicit about saying is a Marine, wound up trying to subdue this guy and he died. I don't blame the Marine. Marines aren't trained to subdue. They're trained to kill. That's what they do. That's what the training is. I know. I was a Marine. And the answer is we don't police, we kill. And I don't think that was the intent. The intent was to stop a violent man from continuing to be violent. A criminal was stopped. That's good. I have no problem with that. I understand that these things happen. It's not racist. It doesn't matter if the man was white or black. Marines are Marines. They're not white Marines. They're not black Marines. They're Marines. And there was a black man helping to hold down the violent criminal. There was another man, I believe he was Hispanic, helping to hold down the criminal. The guy who took the video is Hispanic, and he wasn't trying to stop them. He didn't find it to be about race, because it wasn't about race. That's the distraction. That's how they try and change your mind. They're trying to turn this into race because if you look at the elements of the issue, violent crime is on the rise. Violent crime in the subways in New York City are on the rise. This guy was a repeat offender. He is violent. That is known. He's been arrested for it 42 times. So the problem is bail reform failed. Social justice failed. That's a fact. Defunding the police, which has resulted in longer times to get police officers to where they need to be, is a failure. It took over 15 minutes for police to come to help in this situation. It wasn't because the Marines subdued the violent criminal that he died. It's because the police took over 15 minutes to get to the scene where that man was being subdued. That's why he died. It's because of defunding the police. It's because of bail reform and social justice and the changes in our system that allowed a repeat violent criminal to continue to try to assault the public. That's the problem. And the media doesn't want you to think about it. Media doesn't want you to talk about it. They want you to think it's about race. They want you to think about anything and everything except this is a failure of the progressive ideas, and this is the result of failed progressive policy on the public. Your lives are endangered. When you defend yourself, you're the criminal, you're the bad guy, because no matter what the outcome is, you are not following their rules. You're not obeying their ideas. I'm sorry. Actually, I'm not sorry that this violent criminal died. This isn't George Floyd, and George Floyd is a violent criminal. He died because of a consequence of his criminality. In this case, in New York City, the guy died because of his criminality. It's all the same root problem. To try and say it's because he was homeless. No, it's not because he was homeless. It's because he was violent. There are a lot of people who are homeless. They're not violent. I've been homeless. I wasn't violent when I was homeless. This guy didn't have to be violent because he was homeless. That's not one-to-one. It's not because the criminal was black. There are lots of criminals who are white. It doesn't matter. It's because he was a criminal, period, full stop. Marine did what he was supposed to do, what he was trained to do. In this case, it resulted in death. That's unfortunate. It was not intentional, at least according to what we can see from the video, from what people have said who are watching it. It seems that this was not intentional. But that's what happens when violent, repeat offenders are confronted, when they are aggressors, when they are intending to harm others, and someone comes to defend you. Occasionally, in confronting violence, you may have the ultimate violence committed. Maybe I'm wrong. Maybe we'll find out more details. Maybe there's something else. But I tell you what, this wasn't about race. This wasn't some kind of attack on black men that, oh yeah, all the homeless black men are now being hunted in New York. No, that's stupid. Maybe you think I'm wrong. It's not a short. It's just my raw take on this right now. Unedited, just straightforward. This is how I feel. Maybe you feel the same way. Maybe you don't. Tell me why. Tell me why this is racial when there's a black man, a Hispanic man, a white man, all involved in the situation. Tell me how this is targeting black men when this is a repeat offender, a violent repeat offender. Tell me how bail reform has worked to release this man and allow him to be out amongst the public, how social justice has worked for you. Tell me how defunding the police, reducing the number of police, increasing the amount of time that police have to take to get to each and every scene, how this is being a benefit to you. If you think I'm wrong on these things, tell me how this is helping you out, how this reduce this problem, because this is the cause of the problem, the root cause of the problem. It's not homelessness. You don't have to be violent to be homeless. It's not because someone was targeting him. He was an aggressor, repeatedly an aggressor. Let's be honest, folks. Seriously, let's just be honest. And not try and, don't want to edit this down. Let's just be honest. Because when we're not being honest, when we're listening to the media and the pundits and those politicians and politicos and organizations that have an agenda, when we just obey that agenda, we're not helping each other. And this situation happens over and over again. That's the problem. Let's deal with that. And I think everything else will figure itself out. What do you think?